Zippity-doo-dah, how the heck are you? Happy Tuesday, 19th day of May, 2020. Wake up in Wenatchee Valley safely on the air. Thanks for starting your day with us. As you can see behind me, a little bit of light rain in some pockets of north central Washington, and that's the story, really, for the rest of this week. Very unsettled. We're going to have some very windy conditions. Tomorrow, a little bit of passing light rain here and there. We kind of missed significant thunderstorms. There was some up to the north of us, up in the Elmira area and the Heartline area. Connell to the south of us near the Tri-Cities got 2 inches of rain, but thunderstorms kind of zipped around us just a little bit. And I'm fine with that anyway, but we're still not out of the woods yet. But Memorial Day weekend looks really good. Forecast details are coming up. We're in for a very nice period of weather, morning to charity out there in beautiful Kashmir. Once we get to Memorial Day weekend, we still got to deal with some stuff here for the rest of the week. Of course, Memorial Day is pretty early this year. That's just the way the calendar flies. We got news. We got quite a bit of sports to get to as well. We'll talk about U.S. Open golf, and we'll talk a little Seahawks football as well as we get to sports and everything else you're used to. And in the back half of the hour, we're continuing to air Beth Stipe's Beth's Backyard Briefs. Of course, Beth is the executive director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington. They're practicing safe social distancing. Beth has been in quarantine at her home, but she's keeping people in the loop alongside her dog by sitting in her backyard and taping little updates on what the Community Foundation in North Central Washington has been up to since this pandemic began back in early March. And we'll check in with Beth in the back half of the hour. 55 degrees, pockets of light rain. Let's take our tour, beginning as always with the cross camera. And you can see those bands of rain to the north of us. That would be the very definition of isolated showers under mostly cloudy skies. It's mild though. The clouds, of course, kept the heat in, which is why we're at 55 degrees. We only hit 68 yesterday. We've had a cool weather pattern. Haven't been really up to normal for quite some time. Our normal high this time of the year would be 72 degrees. Our low on Monday was 44. Our normal low would be 49. Sunrise this morning, 5:19. Sunset tonight, 8:37. 15 hours and 18 minutes of daylight. And so far this month, we've had a little more than half an inch of rain if you add all the rain up. Now, it hasn't been any significant rain event, just traces here and traces there and traces here and traces there, but it all adds up. 0.54 inches of rain so far this month is actually wetter than normal for May, but we're still way behind where we should be on our yearly total and on our rainy season total. We are still in a drought, even though we're doing a little bit of catch-up work. Anyway, good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? We're off to see Lake Chelan. Getting ready for another busy weekend, Memorial Day weekend. We'll see how that pans out. The lake, I checked this morning with the Chelan County PUD's website. They have a website that specifically talks about the lake level of Lake Chelan. It's about 8 feet below where it would normally be at the very top, where they top it off. So it's still a little low in places, but 8 feet ain't bad. Good morning, Lake Chelan. Hope you have a good and safe Memorial Day weekend coming up. It's a big one normally for the Lake Chelan area, but we'll see. Camera number 3. It's off to, is that the monitor camera? That's Steins. I should have known that. That's Steins looking directly to the east. So Kashmir and you can see the golf course. That's plain as day right there. You can see the fairgrounds. They're looking good. Look at all those orchards growing, the peaches and the pears and the apples and the cherries and everything else. Great view from Steins Hill. Haven't played the Kashmir golf course in a while. I got to get out there and do that. I've been pretty much, my golf has been pretty much out of Clackham Ridge in the Quincy area because I've been walking, and it's an easy walking golf course. Not too many hills there. In fact, it's pretty darn flat. So good morning to our friends in Kashmir from Steins Hill. Looks like that camera's moving just a skosh. Must be a little breezy up there. I can see why. Camera number 4. Black Mountain. That one I know because I've been there. And it's quite the hairy trip, I might add, to get to the top of Black Mountain as we look down over Leavenworth. Of course, Memorial Day weekend is also a big tourist weekend for the town of Leavenworth. Everybody is going to be affected this weekend with most of the non-essential businesses closed as we get through this COVID-19. Of course, hopefully, stage 2.2 or whatever it's called. Tucker Captain Wagner from Kashmir just checked in, said he could see his house. Morning, Captain Wagner, and good morning to everybody in Leavenworth. And again, I hope Leavenworth and Chelan makes it through this weekend okay, because I have the feeling that people are going to come anyway. They just are. People are going to do what they want to do. So there you go. Good view from Black Mountain, which is right on top of the very peak that overlooks Pesheston, Washington, United States of America. So that's our tour around north central Washington. 3 slides to show for you from the National Weather Service. First of all, the wind gusts for tomorrow. Yeah, going to be windy at times. This is your peak winds. We'll go back to that in just a minute. First of all, your total precipitation. This is tonight through Wednesday night. As you can see, we have that little spot right over the Wenatchee Valley where we're not really expecting any rain at all. The farther east you go, the more rain you're going to get. Spokane could get an inch of rain. The Idaho Panhandle could get more than an inch of rain. That's a lot of rain for that area. 1.25 inches is possible in the Idaho Panhandle and in the Coeur d'Alene area, maybe up to 1 inch in the Spokane area. As you can see, the darker the green, the more the rain. But here in the north central Washington area, we're going to be protected by the League of the Cascades. We're not expecting any real rain at all. Light scattered showers if we get anything at all. And again, this is tonight through Wednesday night. Now let's take you back to the peak wind slide. Take a look at where you live. This is Wednesday afternoon's gusts. It's going to be quite windy Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. These are your peak gusts, not your sustained winds, 35 to 40 miles an hour in the Wenatchee Valley. Stronger still in Ellensburg. That's always the case out in the Columbia Basin. So there you go. That is your wind gust forecast for Wednesday and Wednesday night. Is it me or has it been a windier than normal spring? I could just be spitballing here. I frequently do that. But once we get to Friday, and especially Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, things are looking good. It'll be fairly dry. Slight chance of some light rain. I don't think we're going to get any. Temperatures will be warmer. If you're heading up to the mountains to do some camping, you could get a spotty mountain shower. Temperatures will be slightly above normal. So for Memorial Day weekend, it is looking good. But we got to get there first because we do have a fairly wet weather pattern with a little bit of everything. It's a weather smorgasbord. So belly up to the bar. Let's take a look from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They give your home a hug. So partly cloudy skies today. About a 30% chance of rain. Any rain that we get would be late in the afternoon. No chance of any thunderstorms, I don't think so. And a high near 75. Now, they've been predicting highs a little bit warmer than what we've actually been getting. So maybe more around 70 or 71 for the afternoon high. And again, very little rain. If we get any of it at all, it'll be late in the day today. Partly cloudy tonight. 51 for the overnight low. Quite a bit of sunshine on Wednesday. As you see, a high of 74. The big story tomorrow, not only Wednesday, but Wednesday night, it's going to be the wind. It'll be breezy in the morning, and then it picks up in intensity. A northwest wind consistent at about 13 to 15 miles an hour, right around 20 miles an hour in the afternoon. Gusts around 30 to 35 miles an hour possible, not only Wednesday afternoon, but really into Wednesday night. The winds are not going to decrease until the wee small hours of Wednesday night, so get used to some wind Wednesday night as well. Eventually, it'll die down. Still some residual wind on Thursday. With quite a bit of sunshine, we'll get up to about 66 degrees. So it's bringing in some cool air. This system is going to make us quite windy on Wednesday. Also ushering in some chillier air. 66 is quite a bit below normal for this time of year. Still a little windy at times on Thursday. Now we're setting you up for Memorial Day weekend, Friday. Partly sunny. Can't rule out a little bit of light rain. It's still possible. Again, any kind of rain is expected to be really relegated to the Cascades, not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley if we get any at all. 67 for the high on Friday under partly cloudy skies. Lots of good sunshine on Saturday. No rain in the forecast. It's looking fine. 73 degrees. Sunday, a few clouds mixed with sun, warmer, 76. And then we wrap it up on Memorial Day under partly cloudy skies. And again, a high of 76 degrees. So some scattered light rain showers possible today. None tomorrow, just lots of sunshine and lots of wind Wednesday. And Wednesday night, a passing shower maybe on Thursday. And then things are looking pretty good for Memorial Day weekend if you have outdoor plans anyway. And I think the vast majority of us do. It is 9 minutes after the hour. We are going to take a break and come back and fill your head full of the information you need to start your Tuesday talking about the news in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
Just about 11 minutes after the hour, some light rain in pockets, 55 degrees. We'll have a mixture of clouds and sun today. We'll top off in the mid-70s, lots of wind and lots of sun come Wednesday. Here's what's making headlines. Eastbound lanes on Interstate 90 in Moses Lake were blocked for several hours yesterday afternoon after a head-on collision that killed 2 people. The Washington State Patrol reports that a Hyundai SUV being driven by 87-year-old Emmanuel Scheibel of Moses Lake was traveling westbound in the eastbound lanes of I-90 when it struck head-on a Chevrolet Express cargo van being driven by 59-year-old Robert J. Miller of Auburn. Both Scheibel and Miller were declared dead at the scene. The accident happened shortly after 2:30 at milepost 183. That's near I-90's intersection with State Route 17. There were no other occupants in either vehicle. Miller was wearing a seatbelt. Scheibel was not. For the first time in its history, the Wenatchee Youth Circus announced yesterday that their 68th season, scheduled to take place this summer, has been canceled. The decision was made by the board of directors based on the ongoing developments, safety measures, and restrictions related to the global spread of COVID-19. Circus officials say it's a sad day for the youth performers, the trainers, the volunteers who invest a lot of hours and a lot of hard work in practicing and planning for the busy summer travel season and performing for their fans throughout the state of Washington and beyond. Financially, the Wenatchee Youth Circus estimates they're going to lose about $60,000 because of the cancellation of this summer's performance season. Incredible footage we're about ready to show you. A 17-year-old stolen car suspect led Moses Lake Police on a lengthy car chase through the town late last week. It included several high-speed laps in the Winco parking lot. Police dash cam video shows the teen racing through the parking lot and giving the middle finger to shoppers as he sped past. Police flattened the vehicle's tires with spike strips, but the chase continued until the 17-year-old crashed the stolen car through a fence into the side of a house and then into a vehicle. Here's a look at how it all went down from the Moses Lake Police Department's dash cameras. And as you see there, the unidentified suspect faces theft of a vehicle and felony eluding of police charges in juvenile court. After a split council vote last week, Leavenworth has decided to move forward with the hiring of a new city administrator. Anna Cortez Steiner will start work on June 1st. Cortez Steiner was selected out of 20 applicants and 3 finalists by Mayor Carl Floria to replace former city administrator Joel Walensky. Before her selection, Cortez Steiner worked as an assistant city manager for the city of Yakima and as city manager for Helena, Montana. Cortez Steiner says her first-year goals include getting to know the Leavenworth community on top of addressing the COVID-19 aftermath and getting the city back to normal.
Now, as far as work, clearly COVID-19, it's different. You know, I think that anybody taking any position of leadership right now in the United States has to say the priority number one is to address the COVID-19 aftermath. And so how do we transition the city back into quote-unquote normal? What are some of the precautions that we have to take? What are some of the systems that we need to change? What's the capacity that we need to build, and so on and so forth? So that's priority number one from a programmatic perspective.
The City Council voted to approve the contract with the new city administrator, although the vote ended up being 4-3 in favor of Cortez Steiner. East Wenatchee's newest roundabout at the intersection of 3rd and Highline Drive opened on Friday night, about a month and a half ahead of schedule. KRCI was the contractor on the project. They were given additional time for closing the intersection because, of course, traffic is much lighter because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The $730,000 roundabout is designed to address safety issues at the busy intersection near Costco and several auto dealerships. Well, Chelan and Douglas counties will head into the 2020 election season with few contested races. The filing period, by the way, ended on Friday. There's just one local race in the August 4th primary with more than 2 candidates, and that's for Chelan County Commissioner District 4, where Dale England and Tiffany Gehring, both of Chelan, and Brant Capel of Wenatchee will face off to determine who will take on each other in the November general election. District 4 Commissioner Doug England is Dale England's brother. He is not seeking re-election. District 1 Commissioner Kevin Overbay will run unopposed. Of the 3 12th District state legislators up for election, only Representative Keith Gaynor faces opposition, and that comes from Adriana Moore of Winthrop. Senator Brad Hawkins and Representative Mike Steele will run unopposed, and Douglas County Commissioners Dan Sutton and Kyle Steinberg will also run without any opposition. And that's a look at what's making headlines. At 18 minutes after the hour, we will be back at it. Many people working remotely from home, other people working here at the Broadcast Metroplex, but practicing safe social distancing. One way or the other, we're going to have a newscast for you at 5 o'clock tonight. The anchor is Grant Olson, and here's a preview.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, all the latest local news regarding the coronavirus. I'll have your possibly wet and windy North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will have all the day's sports. That and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. You want to submit a news tip? You want to drop us a line? We'd love to hear from you, our viewers, and I got to give you a heads up. You are very good at getting a hold of us. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. If you go to our website at ncwlife.com, you'll see the Contact Us icon at the top of the screen. You can either just drop us a note and say hi, or you could submit a news tip. It goes right to the news crew. Or if you want to go to our Facebook page, you can get a hold of us via Facebook Messenger. All right, going to take a break. When we come back, sports. What's the USGA going to do about the U.S. Open? Well, I can't qualify because they're not going to have any, and I'm not that good of a golfer. We're talking golf and Seahawks when we get to sports. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pete Rutherford from Confluence Health. I urge all of you to stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe. You can provide a valuable service to all our region's healthcare professionals, our hospitals, our clinics, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and adult family homes by donating cloth face masks and gowns to our efforts. If you are able to sew some masks or a gown, there are instructions online at the Chelan Douglas Health District. You can contact the Health District or the Confluence Foundation and they will arrange to collect them and distribute them to where they are needed. We are fortunate that this is a community that cares about all of us. We will get through this coronavirus together by helping each other. Thank you and be well.
Aging in Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging in Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging in Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
We're back at 21 minutes after the hour. Let's talk about sports. The USGA announcing yesterday for the first time since 1924 the U.S. Open will do away with qualifying. Not going to have any this year. Of course, the tournament already has been moved. It's usually Father's Day weekend in June. It's not going to be held in September at Winged Foot Golf Club in New York. John Bodenhammer is the Senior Managing Director of Championships for the USGA. He said it was an incredibly difficult decision as opening qualifying is one of the cornerstones of the U.S. Open. The USGA often points out that typically half of the 156-man field goes through either 36-hole qualifying or 18-hole and then 36-hole qualifying. It even invested in a marketing campaign that was rolled out back in February entitled From Many to One. It illustrates the fact that more than 9,000 people every year apply to play in the U.S. Open, which eventually yields just one winner, of course. The USGA did not announce Monday how other players would become exempt. Now, among those who have yet to qualify is Phil Mickelson. He's been runner-up in the U.S. Open 6 times. It's the only major he hasn't won. Mickelson said back in February he would not ask the USGA for an exemption and that if he didn't qualify or become exempt, he wouldn't play. Phil's going to play. Trust me on that. NFL teams can begin opening their training facilities today, but, of course, state and local governments do play a role in this. In a memo sent to the 32 teams on Friday by Commissioner Roger Goodell, the commissioner stressed that the clubs must be, quote, in compliance with any additional public health requirements in their jurisdiction and have implemented the protocols that were developed by the league to all clubs May 6th, end quote. Facilities have been closed, of course, since late March because of the coronavirus pandemic. There are limitations to reopening your camps by the NFL. Teams may have no more than 50% of their staff in the facility at any one time, can't exceed 75 people. No member of the coaching staff can return to the facility under the first phase of reopening. No players can be in the facility other than those undergoing medical treatment or rehab. Makes you wonder why they're bothering at all. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll recently appeared on the NFL Network with Colleen Wolfe and Steve Mariucci to discuss the upcoming 2020 schedule.
Pete, I hope you're well, first off, but I don't know where your eyes went when you first saw the schedule. Mine went right to the end, to Rams and Niners. But what about you?
No, I went to the first game. Really, matter of fact, I went to the first preseason game. I saw Las Vegas. I thought we may have a chance to go to Vegas, but they're coming here. So we didn't win that one. But we go right to the first game. That's the one that gets us started, and that's really the one that we'll focus on. They'll come, as we get there. They'll come in time.
Well, Pete, you mentioned that first game, and when I look at your schedule, the Atlanta Falcons, well, there's a guy named Dan Quinn who we both know very well, right? I gave him his first job in the National Football League from Hofstra. That's where I got him from, all right? And he was our defensive quality control coach at the Niners. And then you had him twice as an assistant head coach in D-line, and then later as a defensive coordinator. Talk about playing against a team, yes, but a personal friend, too, that makes things a little bit more interesting with Dan Quinn.
Well, I've always liked to play against my friends, I've always found that kind of a little bit special. I like the fact that there's so much familiarity and then we got to figure it out. I like beating my friends, too, to tell you the truth. But it's in this case, Danny and I have been together quite a bit. We spent a lot of time together over the years, and so we share a lot. So it's going to be a really intense preparation. They know us, we know them. I like it when it's like that.
Coach Carroll was also asked about the possible return of a certain football player by the name of Marshawn Lynch.
Pete, I live here in the Bay Area where you grew up, And like every other night on the sports news, we're talking about Marshawn Lynch maybe returning to the Seahawks. Can you tell us, you had him for 3 games at the end there, and he's really a factor. Can you tell us about your interest in Marshawn, and is there a chance that he's playing with you again?
Well, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. He did a great job for us last year. You know, he scored a number of times and right down the stretch, gave us some really just good heart and soul kind of football that he has always stood for. He just did a marvelous job jumping in and just kind of embracing the younger guys. You know, guys were looking at him. They've been watching him for a long time. You know, these guys are kind of scared of the old beast. But he took great care of them. I was really respecting the way he jumped in with us, and we were grateful to see him get in the end zone. We just needed one more in there somewhere.
Now, Lynch admitted, of course, not long ago that his agent has been in talks with the folks in Seattle about a possible return to the Seahawks. By the way, Seattle will travel close to 30,000 miles round trip in the upcoming football season. That's most of any team in the NFL. Speaking of the Seahawks, their cornerback Quentin Dunbar is apologizing to Seattle fans and his teammates. Of course, he was arrested over the weekend for his alleged role in an armed robbery at a party last week in Miramar, Florida. Following his release on a $100,000 bond on Sunday, he went to Instagram, and there is his quote: "I would like to thank all my fans for their support and apologize to the Seattle Seahawks organization for any unnecessary distractions that these allegations against me may have caused. In addition, I am very grateful to be a part of a team that supports one another and uphold the credibility of each of its members through adverse situations. Moving forward, this entire situation has taught me how not to associate myself with environments that may mischaracterize my values and who I am." End quote. Now, since he was arrested, Dunbar's attorney has reportedly presented sworn affidavits by witnesses that said, hey, he didn't do it. The Seahawks have not made an official statement regarding the incident. They're referring all questions to legal authorities down in Florida. Of course, college and university athletic departments are facing deep cuts in the face of the coronavirus pandemic, and it may be felt deeper at smaller colleges like Eastern Washington University. The athletic director at Eastern Washington University is Lynn Hickey, and she discussed her university's approach during a Facebook Live event last week.
For us right now, it's a loss of about $2.1 million, and that's just from the institutional support that we normally get from student fees. And so we have got to make cuts to cover that. The other thing that we're looking at is what is our revenue flow currently? How much revenue are we going to lose? So we have to build that into the budget. So yeah, our cuts are going to be deep. I think we're probably looking at anywhere from a 20 to 30% cut of each sport operationally. We know that we have some administrative positions right now we are not going to refill. So we're going to really be short-staffed on the administrative side. Trying to protect as many of our other staff and our student athlete scholarships as we can. But everything's on the table.
Of course, Eastern's a member of the Big Sky Conference, and Hickey says that the Big Sky Conference has decided to let members' schools in states that are reopening to begin workouts and practices on campus. She said Eastern is still waiting for approval from the governor's office so the Eagles can begin work. Obviously, she admits that there will be a definite competitive advantage for those schools who get a chance to practice and work out before other schools. Makes sense to me. And that's a look at sports at 29 minutes after the hour. Just one obscure holiday to choose from, but it's a good one. National Devil's Food Cake Day. That looks really good right now. It's observed annually on May 19th because the internet told me so. If you like chocolate cake, there's chocolate cake and then there's Devil's Food Cake because it's darker color. It tends to be moist and airy. You use Devil's Food Cake recipes use hot or boiling water as the primary liquid. Makes it nice and fluffy, but it still makes it dense enough. And then, of course, you got to put your chocolate ice cream or your chocolate frosting on top of that with a side of chocolate ice cream. The earliest known Devil's Food Cake recipe goes back to 1898 in a newspaper in Hagerstown, Indiana. So, Devil's Food Cake, yeah. Have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, that looks good. I usually don't do food. I try to avoid the food-related obscure holidays, but hey, it's Devil's Food Cake. I mean, come on. It's the 19th day of May. The Mexican-American War ended on this date. Turned out to be a pretty good real estate deal for the United States. The United States had already ratified the treaty. Mexico hadn't done it yet. They did it on this date, May 19th, 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. So the Mexican-American War came to an end. What did we get out of the deal? A lot. Basically all of California, all of Nevada, all of Utah. Pretty good chunk, as you can see there, of Arizona, a little slice of New Mexico, a little slice of Colorado, a little slice of Wyoming, not bad. If you were a Mexican citizen and you were living in that area, you had a choice. You could either stay and become an American citizen, or you could go back to Mexico. What did Mexico get in return? 15 million bucks. They needed the money. That's a pretty good deal. Mexican-American War came to an end. We gobbled up a whole bunch of that territory, and it only cost us $15 million. I looked it up. That real estate that you see there highlighted in pink is now worth more than $15 million. Happened on this date in 1848. May 19th, 1973, we've been following this all spring long. This is the 47th anniversary of Secretariat winning the second leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes, in 1 minute and 53 seconds. We're going to show you the video, but what I want you to see, we're going to show you the video of the first turn in its entirety. And you will notice that Secretariat going into the first turn was dead last, and by the time they exited the first turn and went into the backstretch, Secretariat was first. Take a look.
And they're off for the early lead. That's Deadly Dream on the outside, a Taj. Then it's also Torsion on the outside. They're coming by us. It's a Taj getting it, and he's still moving away by about 2.5 as they pass the stands. Settling into second, Torsion. Sham has good position, third on the rail. It's another 3 lengths back, Deadly Dream. Then Our Native and Secretariat is last again as they move into the first turn. They're into the turn. A Taj has it by 2 lengths. Torsion second by a length, and then Sham third. Sham under an easy hold right now. But here comes Secretariat. He's moving fast, and he's going to the outside. He's going for the lead, and it's right now he's looking for it. Ronnie Turcotte sends him alongside a Taj. Here we have it. A Taj is the leader, but Secretariat is right alongside. Secretariat by 2 lengths. Sham driving second. There's a strong left-handed whip again by Tinkai. He goes to it time and time again, but Ronnie Turcotte has his whip put away, and Secretariat has him put away. He's beginning to draw away. It is Secretariat. He's coming to the wire. He wins it by 2.5, almost 3. Sham an easy second. Our Native third. A Taj fourth. Deadly Dream fifth, and Torsion is sixth. And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
The big, strong Secretariat. It was a course record in strange aftermath to all of this. The official clock during the race actually malfunctioned, and so they didn't have an official time. They had a bunch of people keeping track for, like the Daily Racing Forum and stopwatches and stuff, but nobody really knew how fast Secretariat ran, and the dispute was not resolved until 2012, when they had a chance now to go back with the videotape and computers, and they ran the whole thing all over again multiple times with official clocks and computerized clocks, and they figured out that Secretariat ran the race in 1 minute 53 seconds, which was a new record, and it is still the record. So Secretariat had already won the Kentucky Derby in the fastest Kentucky Derby ever ran, still to this day. 2 weeks later, Secretariat wins the Preakness Stakes, as you just saw, in the fastest Preakness Stakes ever run. Check in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about the Belmont from New York. And that's a look at today in history at 34 minutes after the hour. 2 birthdays, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Pete Townshend, lead guitarist, lead songwriter of The Who, or as they say in Great Britain, The Who. He's 75 years old today, a terribly underrated guitarist. He's one of the half-dozen greatest guitarists of all times. We love Pete Townshend. He's 75 years old today, and I love The Who. Happy 75th, Pete. Good to see you're still around. Archie Manning's had a pretty good life. He's the father of Cooper Manning, Peyton Manning, and Eli Manning. All 3 of the Manning brothers have done very well for themselves. Of course, Peyton and Eli have each won a couple of Super Bowls. Archie never got the chance to, but he played with the Plum in the NFL for the New Orleans Saints when the Saints were terrible. Archie Manning is still a legend in Louisiana and Mississippi and in other places as well for fathering a couple of pretty good quarterbacks. Happy 71st birthday to Archie Manning. 35 minutes after the hour, I'm going to take a break. Mike McNally's got an opinion. Then it's another edition of Beth's Backyard Briefs. Beth Stipe from her backyard gives us an update on the Community Foundation of North Central Washington. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
On File Books and Motors is open for parts and service. Please phone ahead at 884-3558. Sales by appointment only. In these times, be assured Steinberg Law Firm is here to help. Essential services like personal injury, bankruptcy, or estate planning are available by phone or video conference. Call today for more information. At ReadyMedi, they have the exit strategy. They've started COVID-19 antibody serum testing. Call 888-6334 for more details and to reserve a kit for you.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
The Meat Shop in Chelan has all the meats, homemade side dishes, sauces, and rubs you need. And after a brief break for a new baby, the Meat Shop will return to regular hours in beautiful downtown Chelan. Deepwater Home Electronics is open on modified hours to serve our community. Verizon phone services, computer repair, installations, and service calls help you stay connected while you are social distancing. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Restaurante look forward to seeing you after they're able to open up again. In the meantime, you can share in their award-winning wines by visiting or giving them a call.
Water is essential to living. From clean drinking water for good health to clean water for your pool or spa. Central Washington Water, your water experts. With whole home water filtration systems for your home's best water. Products and supplies to keep your pool and spa water crystal clear. To a full parts department. Count on Central Washington Water for expert help. Shop screen to screen. Come in or call about a backyard consultation. Central Washington Water, your water care professionals.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, recently, our state legislature did something very worthwhile. Hooray! You know, they passed a bill that ended the statute of limitations against sex crimes against children. Now, somebody who suffers from child sexual assault bears those scars for years. And a vast majority of the time, the abuser is someone with authority, which makes it difficult for the abused child to reconcile, which is often why disclosure in these cases may not come for many years after the crime occurs. Now, those who abuse children should face the possibility of disclosure and prosecution for as long as it takes the victim to appropriately deal with what's happened to them. Good work, Washington lawmakers. Good work for this. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Owner Andrew Vickery brings years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spas, both new and used, as well as residential and commercial pool and spa services, regular maintenance and repairs, and all the chemicals required to keep your pool and spa crystal clear. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today. Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales,
where you can expect a hassle-free car buying experience. With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
Clark, are you ready for another episode of the Backyard Brief? We sure are. Hi there, and welcome to another amateur episode of the Backyard Brief. I'm Beth Stipe. Welcome to Volume 3. We thought we'd take a step back for a second and talk about the mission of the Community Foundation. Our mission is to grow, protect, and connect charitable gifts in support of strong communities. And so we wanted to bring you a little bit of how our mission goes to work every day. And this episode, we're tagging the Happy Hour Special because we have some really wonderful news to share about growing the charitable gifts that are in our region to help those that need it most. And we want to thank our friends at Cardis Winery and Icicle Brewing because each of these local businesses has done a special gift pack that you could pick up at the winery or at the brewery, and they're giving some of the proceeds to the Community Foundation's Helping Hand program so that we can send that back out into the community and help others in need. So thank you to those folks who are doing great work in our community. It's taking all of us. And thank you to all of you who went out and bought those care packages because you're supporting local businesses that are turning back around and supporting our local needs and the people who need it most. So thank you. We also want to say thanks to all of those who have donated to the Helping Hands grant program. We're super grateful and super thankful, and we're going to share with you a little bit about what your dollars are doing here in a minute. Second part of our mission, to connect. So what are we doing to connect, folks? Well, we're still doing our sector calls, and we wanted to say that this week we had a real big breakthrough that was super exciting to us. We had several new folks join the call, and that was the city of East Wenatchee, the city of Wenatchee, and Chelan County to talk about what they're doing, and the Accountable Communities of Health, to talk about what they're doing with their funding that's restricted funding, and so we can all get a better idea of where those dollars are going. And out of that, we've come up with a master funder sheet. So we're collectively keeping track of where the dollars that are coming into our communities from the various different places that they're coming from, including local dollars, are being spent. So we know that we're meeting the needs and filling the gaps, and we're not missing anyone because we're working collectively. So we're super excited that they were willing to sit at the table with us and to share their information and to share resources on getting the needs met, and so we're super grateful for that. Also wanted to say a big thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and our mayors, Frank Kuntz and Jerry Lee Crawford, for putting together a Recovery Council meeting. This is a council of folks to brainstorm to try and open up our communities in a way that's healthy and safe and still allows our people to get back to work and our businesses to get back to operation. And so super grateful that they're bringing more voices to the table in an effort to do that in a collective way. So well done. It's great that we're having all of this happen in our community and people are coming together because it's going to take us all. So we're super grateful about that. So finally, strong communities. that's the goal of the Community Foundation's work, is to grow, protect, and connect in support of strong communities. And so we wanted to share a couple of the things that we think is super great that's happening. We want to give another shout out to another local business. Garlini's on Monday is going to feed 1,000 people in connection with Serve Wenatchee Valley. Great partnership. If you want to go out and have a nice meal and support folks who maybe can't do that, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. And here's another local business that is also struggling, who's willing to step forward and say, gosh, you know, I'm going to do what I can. So way to go, Garlini's, and thank you, Serve Wenatchee, for all the work that you're doing to help support those who are in need right now in our community. Another fun thing that has happened from some collaborations that we are really excited about is the talk of putting together almost like a caravan of support with the Community Action Council and a mobile food bank, North Central Regional Library and their bookmobile, and Columbia Valley Community Health and their mobile outreach component. And they're looking at putting together this group to go out into some of the rural communities that maybe don't necessarily have access to services very easily, and to support those folks where they are. And what a cool thing that's happening. This won't happen right away, but we're really excited about the conversations that are being had and the great, innovative, and exciting things that are coming out of this work. So finally, wanted to say thank you to all of you for all of the support you've given to the Helping Hand Grants program. $18,600 went out this week in emergency grants. And one quick story before we close tonight about one of the grants that we received. The Ingalls Creek Enrichment Center, which is up Blewett Pass, lost their freezer. So they are a retreat center, and needless to say, we don't have a lot of retreats being scheduled right now. But they said, gosh, if we could get our freezer replaced, we could partner with Upper Valley Mend, who's just getting ready to get into their gleaning program, so they'll have an additional space to store food that they need to give to others who are frequenting the food banks. And so we were able to fund that freezer, and so now we have an additional space to store food that's going to help those who need it the most. So these are just some of the cool things that are happening because of you, and we thank you, and we hope that you're having a happy hour as well, because we certainly are, and we're super grateful to you. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab, or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air, and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
And we are back. We hope you enjoyed Beth's backyard briefs. That's what she calls it anyway. We'll be airing those on a regular basis. When Beth does a new one, we'll go ahead and throw it up on the air for you here on the NCW Live channel on Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. 48 minutes after the hour, we want to repeat our top stories this morning. Obviously, the big one is the double fatality yesterday near Moses Lake on Interstate 90. The eastbound lanes on I-90 in Moses Lake blocked for several hours yesterday afternoon. There was a head-on collision, one of them involving a wrong-way driver that killed 2 people. The Washington State Patrol reports that a Hyundai SUV being driven by 87-year-old Emmanuel Scheibel of Moses Lake was traveling westbound in the eastbound lanes of I-90 when it struck head-on a Chevrolet Express cargo van. That van was being driven by 59-year-old Robert J. Miller of Auburn. Both Scheibel and Miller were declared dead at the scene. The accident happened shortly after 2:30 at milepost 183. That's near the I-90's intersection with State Route 17. There were no other occupants in either vehicle. Miller was wearing a seatbelt and Shabil was not. Sad news from the Wenatchee Youth Circus yesterday. For the first time in its history, the Wenatchee Youth Circus announcing that their 68th season, which was scheduled to take place this summer, has been canceled. The decision was made by the board of directors based on the ongoing developments, safety measures, and restrictions related to the global spread of COVID-19. Circus officials say it's a sad day for the youth performers, trainers, and volunteers who invest many hours and hard work in practicing and planning for the busy summer travel season to perform for their fans throughout the state of Washington and beyond. And unfortunately, it's also going to be a pretty big economic hit for the Wenatchee Youth Circus. It estimates income losses of $60,000 due to the cancellation of this summer's performance season. Good news for you travelers in the East Wenatchee area. That newest roundabout at 3rd Street and Highline Drive, it opened Friday night, about a month and a half ahead of schedule. KRCI is the contractor on the project. They were given additional time for closing the intersection because of lighter traffic because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The $730,000 roundabout's designed to address safety issues at that busy intersection near Costco and several auto dealerships. So another roundabout is up and going here in the big city. We're going to take a break and come back and touch on that weather forecast one more time for you. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Paprika mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
DOGHOUSE Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tamer.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the DOGHOUSE service team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
We have returned. Still some pockets of light rain here in the north central Washington area. We're at 55 degrees. Temperature hasn't moved a bit over the last hour or so. The sun has, though. It's been up for about an hour and a half, and we thought that we'd take another tour around this beautiful valley that we call home with another look at our Valley View cameras. And as you can see, clouds pretty much are dominating the sky right now, but we're going to have some sun breaks today. It'll be partly sunny, partly cloudy, whichever you prefer, but we cannot rule out a stray raindrop in areas of north central Washington, although we're not looking at any thunderstorms, and that we like. It has been a cooler than normal May. It has been a wetter than normal May. We've had over half an inch of total rain so far this month, which is above what we usually have for May, but we're still way behind on our yearly total from January 1st and what they call the rainy season, which begins back on October 1st. We are actually still technically in a drought, although we're catching up little by little. We need more rain. We just don't need it this weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. And again, I'll have your complete forecast details coming up as we look at the cross camera. We call it the cross camera, of course, because it's located adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, and a spectacular view it is. Columbia River, of course, is running high and running cold all the area. Rivers and streams and things like that are running high and cold. I noticed the Wenatchee River's up there pretty good. Beshaston Creek is running at a pretty good clip right now. That's what it is. You have rain in the mountains and significant snow melt, especially up in British Columbia. That's the snow. That's really our stuff here. The stuff that's around our area is the snow melt that ends up down in the Tri-Cities. But everybody, all the rivers are running high and running cold. Camber 2. That's up to Lake Chelan. Oh, look at that. Look at that spectacular view of that little splash of water coming down in the greater Manson area, in the greater Chelan area. That's the Bear Mountain camera, by the way. I'm assuming. Is that correct, Megan? Yeah, I didn't mention that it was the Bear Mountain camera at the start of the show. I just said, hey, it's up at Lake Chelan at the Bear Mountain Golf Course. And, of course, we can play foursomes now. That's good news. Still have to practice some safe social distancing, but at least golfers can play in groups of 4, which is typical. And you can see they have a big slice of blue sky to your right, but some heavy hanging clouds to your left. Lake Chelan's weather is going to be pretty much like it is today. And as I mentioned before, the lake is still not quite all the way full, but it's pretty close. And I'm expecting Lake Chelan to have a pretty busy weekend. It always is on Memorial Day weekend. There's no getting around that. Camera number 3, I think it's off to, yep, here we go. Steins Hill. Good morning. Let's wave to Captain Wagner. Everybody wave. There you go. Beautiful view of Kashmir, who used to be known as the early American city. You remember that? That's what they called themselves. I don't know why they got rid of that. Beautiful view of Kashmir from Steins Hill. As you can see, that camera's blowing around just a little bit, but we can see almost Kashmir almost in its entirety there, including the golf course and the fairgrounds and the soon-to-be late-lamented Goodwin Bridge. They started. I haven't been out there. They started the tear-down process yet? I don't think they have. Of course, they got to tear down the old bridge and build the new bridge where the old bridge is. It's going to take a while. Good morning, Kashmir. Camera number 4, where are we off to? I believe it's Blag. It is Blag. Beautiful view. Now, Blag Mountain, that's about the same height as Steins Hill. You'll notice the Steins camera was shaking. The Blag one is not, but you'll see the trees are moving around just a little bit. That is a gorgeous view from high above Beshaston as we look down in the greater Leavenworth area. And that gives you an idea of how high these cameras are. And that's how the system works. The Sky-Fi system works. The higher the camera, the better off for everybody. So again, you may be qualifying for screaming fast internet without any fiber to your house. Give Sky-Fi a call at Localtel at 888-8888. Find out if you qualify. Let's go ahead and take a look at those slides one more time because there's a lot of pertinent information for you. This is your total precipitation forecast for tonight through Wednesday night. As you can see, we're not going to get a great deal of rain. There's another system that's coming through, but the Cascades are going to protect us. It's going to kind of go over the top of the Cascades. So the Cascades are going to get some rain, but who's really going to get a lot of rain is the far eastern third of our state. Spokane could get up to an inch of rain between tonight and Wednesday night, that 24-hour period. Significant rainfall in the Idaho Panhandle and significant rainfall in western Montana. They're going to get a lot of rain, almost none here in the Wenatchee Valley. As you can see, that little area right around the Wenatchee Valley, it kind of looks like my spleen. That's where we don't expect any rain at all. It looks like down to the Ellensburg and Yakima corridor, or the I-82 corridor, just very little rain, if any at all. It's scattered showers is all they're going to look at there. The big story tomorrow is going to be the wind. It's called sound effects. We're going to get some wind tomorrow, quite a bit of wind. It'll be breezy, about 13 to 23 miles an hour on Wednesday, but we're going to see gusts. As you can see that, the occasional gust between 35 and 40 miles an hour for the Wenatchee Valley, stronger still in Ellensburg. That's always the case with Ellensburg. And the Moses Lake and Mittsville area, the I-90 corridor, again, wind gusts 35 to 40 miles an hour. And if you follow the arrows, that's the direction of the wind. And then we head into Memorial Day weekend, and we're smiling and we're feeling good because it's looking good right now. The big thing is if people are going to go outside, they're going to go camping, that kind of stuff. If you're heading into the foothills, if you're heading up into the higher elevations, up into the mountains for your camping for Memorial Day weekend, you could still get a spotty mountain shower. You're not out of the woods. Pretty much everybody else is going to stay dry and it's going to be warm. So if you have outdoor activities, wherever the case may be, it looks like Mother Nature is going to give us a nice stretch of weather, really starting on Friday and lasting all the way through Memorial Day. But again, a chance of some light rain in the mountains. So let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast one more time from the National Weather Service. We're looking at a high today right around mid-70s and a partly cloudy sky. Slight chance of some late afternoon rain. No wind at all in the forecast. We're going to get down to about 51 for the overnight low tonight. Little wind starts kicking up tonight. We'll have a northwest wind about 11 to 14 miles an hour overnight tonight. Wednesday, the big story is going to be the wind. Lots of sunshine. As I mentioned before, northwest wind about 13 to 20 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 35 miles an hour, maybe up to 40 at times in the Wenatchee Heights area and the Waterville Plateau. Winds will eventually die down Wednesday night, but they're going to take their sweet time doing it. Thursday, sunshine, high of 66. Still a little bit of wind on Thursday morning. Friday, mixture of clouds and sun, kind of cool. Gorgeous Saturday, not a bad Sunday, not a bad Memorial Day at all. A nice weekend for people who get to enjoy a 3-day weekend. And that's it for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We will see you tomorrow. Have a fantabulous Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.